This is the corrections video for Alfred's Essentials of Music Theory, Lesson 55. Exercises 1 and 2 want us to use the same chords, but in part 1, we're doing root position, and in part 2, we're going to use inversions to make it sound smoother. All right, so we're in the key of G, which means our one chord is going to start on G. Our 4 chord is going to start on C because G, A, B, C. 1 chord back on G. 5 chord starts on D. 5/7 chord will also start on D, and 1 chord back on G. Now we're going to build our snowmen. G skip A is B. B skip C is D. I'm going to zoom in. C skip D is E. E skip F sharp is G. G, B, D. Our 5 chord is going to have D skip E is F sharp, which is in the key signature, so we don't need any signs, any accidentals. And then F sharp skip G is A. For our 5/7 chord, it's going to start the same way, but then we also have to add the C up on the top. And then lastly, G, B, D. Okay, so our notes here are G, B, D, C, E, G, G, B, D, D, F sharp, A, with a C on the top if it's a 5/7 chord, and G, B, D. The reason that I'm writing in note names is so that we can quickly and easily find the notes that these have in common. Because to figure out which inversions we should use, like yes, they're telling us which inversions they want us to use, but for us to understand how to do it for ourselves later when they're not telling us which inversions to use, we're going to do what's called common tone voice leading. That means we're going to look for which note does this chord and this chord have in common. In this situation, it's G. Going into the 5/7 chord, it's D. Okay, this is going to help guide us as we go into the next area. Let's go ahead and throw our chord symbols up here as well. This is a G chord, a C chord, G, D chord, D7 chord, G chord. Now, as we use inversions to make this go smoother, to sound smoother, it's telling us that it wants us to start with our 1 chord in root position. So let's go ahead and draw G, B, D. Now it's telling us that it wants the 4 chord in second inversion. That's what that 6/4 tells us, which would meaning C up to the top and then E up to the top, which gives us what note on the bottom? G. Okay, so we're going to start with our G on the bottom, and instead of writing everything up in a crazy high octave with lots of ledger lines, we're just going to bring the G down an octave, because that's the same as moving the other 2 notes twice. We're just going to move this one once. Okay, so we're going to have G now on the bottom. C stays exactly where it was. E stays exactly where it was. And we can see that this move, our G got to stay the same. That's our common tone. Our D only moved up 1 step, and our B only moved up 1 step. So together, that's very little movement to get to this chord. Next, we're going to have our G chord back in root position. And now we're looking for the note that these 2 chords have in common, which is D. So coming from our 1 chord, D is here, we're going to let it stay right there. So D is going to stay here, D is going to stay here, and then we want to bring everything else so that it is closer to this. So we need an F sharp and an A that's close to this G and B. Well, if we put an F sharp on the bottom and the A here, then the B only moved down a step and the G only moved down a half step. We can do the same thing with our F sharp A C here. All right, so B can quickly and easily move up to C. B can also quickly and easily move down to A, and G can still move down to F sharp. So everything only had to move, everything only had to move a little bit, and the D stayed the same place the whole time. And then going back to the 1 chord in root position. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, but first we need chord symbols. This is still a G chord, and what's on the bottom? G, so I don't have to label it. Now we had still a C chord because all of the letters stayed the same, but what note is on the bottom? G. G chord, D chord, but what's on the bottom? F sharp. D7 chord, but what's on the bottom? F sharp. And lastly, our G chord again. Wants us to follow the exact same procedure, but now we are in the key of F. So, and we're in the bass clef. So we're going to have F, F, A, C, B flat, D, F, F, A, C, E, G, B flat, E, G, B flat, D, and F, A, C. Oh, hey. Womp womp. Sorry, friends. These are wrong. The 5th note of the F chord is C, C, E, G, and C, E, G, B flat. I was obviously testing you. So F, A, C, B flat, D, F, F, A, C, C, E, G, with a B flat on the top for the 7 chord, and F, A, C. For our 1 chord, the note that they have in common from the 1 chord to the 4 chord is still F. And from the 1 chord to the 5-7 chord is still that there. And we're going to do the exact same process that we did before. So we have an F chord, a B flat chord, F chord, C chord, C7, F. And to recreate these, we are going to have our 1 chord in root position. We want to have our common tone, which is the F that goes straight across. And then these other 2 notes right here keep living exactly where they were living. So B flat and D. And then back to root position, 1 chord. Now, our top note of the 1 chord, which is C, is going to stay exactly where it was. And everything else is going to move to get closer. So we have C, E, G, C, E, G, B flat, and then back to the 1 chord in root position. This is still an F chord with an F on the bottom, so we leave it just like that. This is still a B flat chord, but now F is on the bottom. plain old regular F chord with E on the bottom. Oh, nope, sorry. C chord with E on the bottom, C7 chord with E on the bottom, and F. Common tone voice leading. It matters. It makes it so much smoother and easier to play, easier to sing, easier to listen to. Our brains just like it better. All right, get this submitted on Canvas.